the 12s. That's how I choose to start this program. Yes, the Philadelphia Eagles still haven't clinched the 1 seed, and that's still up for grabs in the NFC. And the 49ers are now the 2 seed because the Vikings got smoked. We'll get to that in a second. But the 12s. One's in, the other one's knocking on the door. Let's talk about the one that's in. I keep saying, every time you think he's out, every time you think Tom Brady's toast, every time. How many times have we thought Tom Brady's been toast this year? I'll tell you, multiple. You got to go to your second hand for that. Whether it was the first time that he lost to Carolina after he got bailed out with some weird roughing the passer penalty against Atlanta. Every time you think he's out, going to Munich to take on a red-hot, at the time, Seattle Seahawks team. They hadn't put it all together. Under 500 in Germany, he showed up. They put together a full, complete game. Then they go on a bye week at 5-5. They come back, they lose in overtime to Cleveland. What the hell was that? Tom Brady doesn't lose in overtime. He doesn't lose in overtime to Cleveland. Tom Brady doesn't show up in December on Christmas Day in Arizona against Trace McSorley and need to pull one out of his orifice like he did in the last seconds against the Rams. Like he did in the last second against the Saints. Every time you think he's out in those 2 games, you thought he was toast and done. And yesterday, watching the Carolina Panthers and Sam Darnold show up in the house. Sam Darnold to DJ Moore. And then suddenly, Tom Brady is needing to settle for field goals after coming up with a 4th down conversion in the red zone that was successful. And the field goal hits the upright and bounces out. And you're like, what the hell? They're toast. They're done. Yeah, Steve Wilkes, the interim head coach. Yeah, Sam Darnold, the 3rd starting quarterback. Yeah, Christian McCaffrey's long gone. These Carolina Panthers had the Bucs out. And then Tom Brady pulls them back in. Talk about making up for lost time.
He was awesome, man.
The Mike Evans-Tom Brady connection reestablished just in time.
Yeah, shout out if you had Mike Evans in the championship in your fantasy league yesterday.
Or most likely on your bench. Because he hadn't scored a touchdown in months. And by the way, that's not an exaggeration.
Literal months. Like week 4, right?
Yeah. I can attest to this having him on my fantasy team.
The aforementioned Carolina Panthers game between these 2 teams, he was wide open and had one drop. And that what set them back that entire game. Because this is what the Bucs were like at that point in time. That one huge mistake would set them back for the whole damn game. Not anymore. And I know this is a week-to-week league. And I know that we overreact from week to week. But now, the week-to-week league is taking you to the playoffs, and that's all you got to do is just live week to week.
Just make it.
This week-to-week stuff, it ain't narratives anymore.
Get in the dance,
it's the reality. Baby. It's the moment. It's it. This is the time. It's now. Or never. And now the Bucs go from, can they possibly miss it? Is it possible Tom Brady's going to finish a 7-10 quarterback and miss the playoffs and watch Carolina, after blowing up their coaching staff and roster, they're going to win this division? Is that entirely possible? We went from that to, does Brady even need to play next week?
Yeah, he's going to, though.
Well, he said we're football players. It's time to play football.
He's playing.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Brady didn't come back to sit there and watch Blaine Gabbert take some reps in a meaningless football game. And I say that with all due respect. This is amazing how you can go from the outhouse to the penthouse in the NFL. Stands for not for long, and the same thing as struggles, not for long, because it doesn't matter what happened in the previous 15 football games for this team. They're 8-8. They have won the division. They are printing a playoff ticket, and they're going to take on most likely the Dallas Cowboys, and the roof is going to be blown off that sucker, and the sucker is the ratings for whichever network gets it.
Man.
Yeah, fact.
Okay?
Factual.
So it's coming.
Yeah, it's coming all right, Rich.
It's coming down the pike. And yes, overreaction. Yeah. They were terrible the first 15 weeks. Rich, 15 games, 16 weeks. Rich, yeah. They couldn't do anything for 15 games, 16 weeks. Rich, doesn't matter because now they feel confident. Now they just did it. Now they've won it. Now they don't have to worry about that weight of, are they going to blow the division? The answer's done. They got it. It's in. Brady's in the tournament. And coming off of a 432-yard passing game with 3 touchdowns, all of them to Evans, who's coming off of a 207-yard receiving game. And Leonard Fournette's bull rushing his way in the end zone. We're having it called back at the last second, but he's feeling it. They're feeling it. They might even get healthier. Who knows? You get Ryan Jensen back in time? Who wants a piece of that? I'd prefer to say, TJ, you don't.
I mean, you've been on this show for a while. I've said this for months.
I know.
I don't want any part. And I never counted the Bucs out, ever.
And talk about not for long. The amazing thing is your way out of that scenario might be to hit the penthouse button yourself.
Oh, I'm keeping my fingers crossed.
It's possible.
God, if you're listening, help.
Because the Cowboys can be the 1 seed. They need a lot of help. More help than what the Niners currently need, and obviously what the Eagles need. They just need to win a game against the Giants team that has, quote-unquote, nothing to play for.
I was rooting for the Raiders so hard last night.
But we will talk about that later on. For the moment, Tom Brady's in. And you have to go to his house to start it. And he's feeling good. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.